Signalis is one of the best horror games of the decade.
Perfect for everyone that misses old-fashioned survival horror.
I can't stop thinking about Signalis.
It's like Silent Hill 2, but for schizophrenic lesbians.
A game for true Resident Evil.
I consider it an
Silent
instant
Hill,
classic
Kino
and
Crisis
perfect for
Engine.
everyone that misses old-fashioned survival
It's
horror.
an
absolute
absolute
gem
gem out of nowhere.
It's Silent Hill levels of good.
Alright, fine. Guess I'll have to play it. But can it really be that good? Can a pixel art horror game really be that scary? Guess there's only one way to truly find out, by jumping straight in. Turn off the lights, get some hot chocolate, cozily settle in, and start playing. Yep, this is some messed up stuff, alright. Means it's right up my alley. So a reason why I saw this game get praised so much, and why after finishing it I praise it as well, is because playing it is essentially taking a time machine back to the PS1, PS2 era of horror. This game takes tons of elements from those classics and makes it its own. Let's see. Sound effects, backgrounds, and animations inspired by Silent Hill? Check. The inventory management system that Resident Evil popularized? Check. The heavy focus on exploration-based puzzles, also very PS2 era? Check. There's loads more examples, so it's clear that this game is built by its creators out of pure passion for the genre and its classics. But what about its own identity? The most recognizable thing about this game is definitely its use of strange and surreal looking 3D pixel art. And that pixel art gets combined with creepy 2D drawings and animations. It helps to create a surreal and creepy atmosphere, and it combines well with the sci-fi aesthetic. The art is in general also just a treat to look at. Another thing that I also really liked are these first person parts. They come and go pretty much at random, but they definitely did help get me immersed and build that dreamlike, surreal feeling the game has. It's all very abstract, but I don't think you need to understand everything. I don't understand everything either, but that's kinda just what makes it so good. You know, you can think about it afterwards, but while experiencing it, you know, being left in the dark, being fed this creepy imagery, it really does help with the horror of the game. Now combine all that with a fantastically haunting soundtrack, and of course including those iconic Silent Hill-esque rhythmic machinery sounds when things do get more tense, and you got yourself a killer sci-fi horror game. And trust me, it all does really get unsettling when you play it. And speaking about playing it, a game isn't a game without gameplay, so let's talk a bit about that. You'll spend most of your time in this game exploring, gathering key items, and solving puzzles in order to unlock more of the map. All the while the game tries to scare the absolute crap out of you. A small thing, but something that I really appreciated, something that I don't remember Silent Hill having, is the camera in the game that lets you take pictures. It really helps with solving some memory-based puzzles that are like divided over many rooms, because you no longer need to use real-world tools like a notepad, for example, to help you remember stuff that you might need later. In between all the puzzle solving, there is also a combat system, as the areas you explore are filled with enemies. However, I did find the enemies to not be that threatening, and I found them to be pretty easily dealt with. When it comes to the boss battles, the game almost has none of them. It does have some, but you know, in the end I didn't really mind that there were only a few, because they're very basic gameplay wise anyway. A last big part of the gameplay loop is the inventory management, planning which items you best take with you during certain parts, while storing what you need later. It's very Resident Evil, I like it, you know, it adds another layer of strategy to the game. Now the game is also not without problems, with a big annoyance having to do with the inventory management. You see, you only have 6 slots throughout the entire game. It's fine in the beginning, but you never unlock any more, which results in lots of running back to a store box in between the puzzle solving, which especially at the end of the game, when you have unlocked pretty much all the items, gets more and more annoying. On top of that, the game also has some game-breaking bugs. I found out about them after I ran into one myself, where a puzzle broke, which didn't allow me to get an item anymore. Luckily for me, after the game screwed me over, I was able to screw it back over. Because another item further down the line, which I needed to finish a level, I was able to get by an exploit, so of course I did that, because I wasn't about to start the entire game over. I get it's an indie game, but these types of bugs that actually affect progress are the most annoying bugs of all. It's all really sad to see them here. Now for the game story, this is something I don't want to go too deep into. You know, the mystery, being left in the dark, is kind of what makes these games so good. You know, these psychological horror games. All I can say is that you play as an Elster unit, one of many cloned androids, and you're looking for a girl named Ariana in some faraway mining colony. But of course, just like all these games, not everything is as it seems, but there are many layers to this story. And there's lots of stuff that also doesn't really have a set meaning, I think, but stuff that you gotta interpret yourself and try to fill in the gaps through your imagination. The game also plays around with you a bit. It does have some pleasant surprises, and it has multiple endings based on how you play. So if you haven't played it, the best advice I can give is just going completely blind. So in conclusion, is this a must play for fans of classic survival horror? Yes, I agree with everyone, it is. It takes the best of the old game and it does it all justice while providing a unique twist of its own. Is it a flawless masterpiece? Not really. It does have its problems and some annoyances. It might also not be every horror fan's cup of tea, you know, the horror fans that aren't the biggest fan of, you know, exploration and puzzles and, you know, the old way of doing things. But overall, I did really enjoy it myself as a horror fan. It made me look that much more forward to the amazing year that 2023 will be for horror. Anyway, if you like this review, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe down below. Also, don't forget to hit that bell notification. I only recently started out in making these videos, so any kind of feedback or support in the comments is also appreciated. Thank you for watching and catch you all later.